Hi, everyone. We're back here at the Connecticut Film and TV Conference 2024, and I am here with Carson Bloomquist. Hi, Carson. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am great, actually, enjoying how many people are here. It's really exciting. I'm
Great turn.
Yes, I know. I'm here and doing interviews, but I want to be networking too. I want to be doing, this is awesome. So I got a chance to do some research on you. Kind of creepy. Sorry. And you had so much work under your belt. Please tell me about Founders Day. That's your most recent.
Yeah, great. Founders Day is our most recent film. It's a small town set murder mystery during election year, so a very fitting movie for this year, of course. And body kind of turns up, and it turns the town into a tailspin. So we like to use sport a lot of the time as sort of a character study in a unique way, while still having a lot of like genre fun with our stuff. I think people think we do all horror sometimes, but we do a lot of different stuff as well. But we find that horror is near and dear to us, so we like to.
Yeah. I actually was going to ask you, that was one of my questions, like, do you stick to horror? Is it something, like, does it feel comfortable for you, or is there another genre that you would like to get into?
Yeah, no, very comfortable and comfortable in a lot. We actually, the feature we did before Founders Day was this romantic musical. So we kind of run the gamut, and it's called Intermedium with what we do. And we shot that in Wethersfield. We shot Founders Day in New Milford. And we really like to kind of run the spectrum of different genres, different ways to study character and themes and things that are close to us. I work with my brother who is a musical theater kid at heart, and he was born kind of like to be on stage, and that was his arc, and I was more like in sports and everything, but we always had this shared love of movies, so we have these passions that we pull from when we were kids that kind of finds its way into our stuff.
I love that. That leads us into the next question. You work with your brother.
That is it.
Awesome. What's that experience like for you?
Horrible. It's great. We get along. I think a lot of siblings don't surprisingly get along, and we never found that. We always kind of clicked, and fortunately we're able to have a very like interestingly linked creative mind about a lot of stuff, and we kind of know what each other are thinking, and there's a lot of trust that we have. So it's allowed us to build a really strong and large body of work in a generally short period of time. So yeah, we like doing it. We're going to keep doing it.
That's awesome. And you filmed in New Milford and Wethersfield, so tell me what it's like to find talent in Connecticut.
Where to start? There's a lot of great talent in Connecticut. We began, I want to say, close to 10 years ago, and we did a few shorts that we pulled on family and friends from, and that kind of like started our exposure to local regional talent, crew, and cast, and kind of like put us on this path. And generally speaking, you meet one person, you'll meet another person, you meet another person, and then every now and then you'll have a call that you'll get surprised by someone you didn't even know was around. So there's a lot of great folks here, and we pull from Connecticut, and we pull from beyond New York, LA, whatever fits, and we love that sort of tapestry that we're able to create with all our cast.
I love that you are willing to work with people in Connecticut as well. I feel like sometimes, the opportunity may be in Connecticut, but people do get flown in, and, talent doesn't necessarily, that kind of gets overlooked sometimes. In my experience as a model actor,
For sure.
Yeah. So I love that you are willing to work with people that are here and local. I think that makes a huge difference for our industry as a whole here in Connecticut as well.
Definitely. Yeah, we love being able to use our roots and sort of display our roots and champion them and be kind of a what's the word? I usually use a certain word for this, and I might not remember it right now, but really be an advocate.
Why?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Being from here. And Founders Day in many ways too, I'll circle it back to that, has this regional vibe to it. It's this quintessential kind of autumnal murder mystery, and kind of the setting and the way we shoot it, a lot of it, we want to express things we're familiar with and share that with other people.
And so I heard you say your brother has musical theater background. What's your background in, like, educationally? Did you start with film? What did you?
We would always make films when we were kids on camcorder, like traditional home movie type stuff. And And I was always very broad with my education. I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. I knew I had that interest in film, and I ended up going to Connecticut College, and I studied economics and film when I was there. Among many other things, I had a really wide array of classes, and that's what I loved about the liberal arts education. But those were the two primary focuses. But I even liked, architecture and other different art forms, and I, got into theater myself when I was in college. So I think it's good to have my toes wet in a lot of stuff, and it's made us really, I think, stronger at what we do, to have that holistic knowledge. The hammer. And sports, I mentioned, we're huge growing up. I think that kind of like teamwork mentality and everything that came along with it has done something that, has stuck with me as well.
Yes, I can attest to that teamwork thing. Yes, it is a thing. I wanted to know, for people out there to share, what do you suggest if somebody wants to do what you do? What do you suggest? How should they start?
It's a tough call. I feel like it's got harder over time. There's a lot out there, a lot of content and in various forms, so you might not know the first step. But I think just being honest with yourself, the stories you want to tell, and making a people that trust and kind of see what you see, I think is at least where to start. I don't think there's a guidebook that I can properly give. I think every person is different, but I think it's starting there, being honest, and taking a first step that feels right to you.
Is there anything that you are working on now that we should know about?
We just wrapped production on a new psychological thriller feature that we'll announce at some point next year, that we're excited about, and we have some plans for the next one after that are not fully formed yet, but we're excited to keep planning. So
Awesome. And so, other than film,
yeah,
personal life, another job, what else would you like us to know about you?
love to travel, try to make that a priority, see a new place, whenever I can, and have a new experience. So that's huge. And I also work in advertising. So I work in an advertising company named Adams & Knight, based out of Avon. That's been great. And I've been able to have my foot in that and in the narrative film world. And it's been a really cool balance, and at times challenging because, two lives and doing so many different things can seem like a lot, but it's something that I love and something that I'm passionate about, and I think one makes the other better. So
A little bit about the process, right? So you write, you produce, you edit.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that in like a short amount of time, if you could. I know.
Now you write, you produce, you edit. That's the short amount of time. Well, you have to seed an idea, and I think when you get it, you just got to roll with it. And spontaneity is great, and I think that has been a huge motivator, for me. And then once you have, I think, the really concrete story, for me and my brother, it feels like it kind of like naturally flows from there. And because we've had this inertia that we built, we kind of know how to generate the next production cycle and jump into it very efficiently. And we edit our own films, so we shoot for the edit, and we kind of have this like wavelength that we're on together. So that's great. And when we write, we're thinking about the other two phases. When we're doing the film, we're trying to honor the writing and thinking about the edit, and the edit is kind of this other just amalgamation of all of it.
Sounds cohesive, though.
Yes, but they're very cohesive. I think they're all just very inextricably linked for us, and that's why I love wearing all the hats. And sometimes it's like difficult to manage it all, but we find a way, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
That's awesome. So if people want to work with you, right, they're here in Connecticut or close by, how do they contact you?
We are at Being Free Pictures on Instagram. You can find it on Facebook as well. That's probably the most direct line. We have an email somewhere, and I don't want to butcher it right now, but I might be able to share it, but definitely on those social media platforms.
Okay. And are you open to people interning, auditioning for you? Like, how does that normally happen? What's that process like for you?
Everything's a little bit different, but we're always happy and eager to see new faces and new people. So I think if I have that email, it'd be great. It's okay. But get in touch, and when we have something, we'll be happy to see it.
Awesome. And one last thing. one tip for the newbie that's coming in, like ready to go and just wanting to get their feet wet? What's the one tip?
I think, especially now, it's a very comparative industry, and it can be defeating to kind of like be immersed in that so much. So just I go back to being honest with yourself, be truthful to yourself, and don't get swept up in the comparative kind of cycle, and kind of just honor what you feel you want to do. Kind of take a step if it feels right to you. And again, I mentioned there's no real guidebook that I can effectively give. I think it's very subjective now, but I think kind of being honest with yourself about what makes sense to you is a good first step.
So I thank you, but I lied about that being the last thing. I want to know, what's the one person that you want to work with in the future? Oh my gosh. Sorry.
No, that's a great question. I wasn't expecting it. I don't know if I have an answer for you. I might have an answer in about 5 minutes. You know, Forrest Gump was my rainy day movie growing up. So, you know, if I didn't say Tom Hanks,
Yes,
I'll say Tom Hanks.
yes, that's a great choice. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Carson.
Thank you so much.
It was great talking to you. If anybody wants to reach out to Carson, he's on social media. We will get all of that information up on the website.